answered.
Stay strong, Jake. Stay strong, Jake.
I mean, listen, the kid's always going to pick. But as a dad, you can influence that kind of fandom for sure. You just buy him some Jets things, right?
Show him.
You just put
what
games
fucking
on.
Joe Namath looked like back in the day.
Put some exciting Jets games on from like 40 years ago. Get some John Klecko tape out. What is it?
We went to the playoffs in my lifetime. I will be showing our daughter those tapes. And she can pretend like, hopefully by the time she's interested into football, the Jets are good. That's what I'm hoping for.
What's the teacher's name again that
Epi.
introduced you to Jets? Epi?
Yes.
Get teacher Epi down there.
Yes.
She
will help out.
Make it full circle.
Yes.
100%. Teach another Chatsky generation the Jets way.
Yes. We will be sworn into misery for the rest of our family.
Gotta stay positive.
Next year's the year. It's always the year. I'm going to raise a young optimist. I can't wait.
Attaboy.
Perfect.
Attaboy. That's all you could ask for. Good luck to your Jets on draft day.
So bring Jake back in here. So that was a while ago. How is Emily doing?
She's doing well. We're about halfway through. We had the anatomy scan earlier this week, which was crazy, but everything's great. She's a rock star. I'd bring her in, but she's like actively working still and doing her job, which is much more serious than mine, but she's doing great. I'm doing whatever I can, and she's doing a lot more. So I can't say that I'm like a rock star, but she absolutely is.
Give yourself some credit, bud.
Yeah. You're our rock star.
Yeah, appreciate you, dude. Wishing you the best and a healthy next couple months, man.
Thank you, guys. Can't wait. I'll keep you posted.
All right. Once again, this edition of No Dumb Question and Jake's firstborn child are brought to you by Allstate. I think throw some free insurance there. That baby girl is going to be in good hands with Allstate.
You can't do an ad read with somebody's child.
We just did.
I cut a deal on the side, guys. Done. If our other ad partners are listening, there might be other kids around. We don't know. I'll sell you, baby.
You don't know.
Make us a deal.
Any baby brands, strollers listening that want to sponsor my
don't let him chill. Don't let him chill. Don't let him do this bullshit. But no, seriously, we'll sell out. Don't worry about it.
Thank you to our partner, Reese's.
Reese's has 2 limited edition cups. The returning Reese's Strawberry PB&J Cup. Ooh. And the new Reese's Marshmallow Cup.
Listen, you guys know we love Reese's, and this one's bringing some nostalgia back. Nothing like having a Reese's PB&J or marshmallow sandwich as a kid.
You open that school lunch and see a Reese's in there, and you know you're your mom's favorite. Like me. Not Jason.
No way. I'm definitely the favorite because I was the one who was more well-behaved.
I don't know about that. What I do know is I'll definitely be trying these new Reese's cups.
Get the Reese's Strawberry PB&J Cup and the new Reese's Marshmallow Cup today for a limited time only.
It's a combination of flavors so perfect it might make you start to wonder if it's true that everything happens for a Reese's.
Thank you to our partner, Expedia.
When we travel, we like to keep things simple.
Expedia is an all-in-one travel shop when planning trips, flights, hotels, vacation rentals, cars, and activities. It's all right there.
And that's why it's going to be smart when you're traveling this summer to use Expedia at your convenience.
No doubt. When you're planning big trips, it turns into a lot real fast. Different schedules, different opinions, all of it.
Expedia gives you options. Lock everything in at once or handle it step by step. Flights first, then the house, then the car, or car then house. Your call.
That's right. And when you bundle on Expedia, you can save up to 30%.
It just makes sense. One place, everything you need, no bouncing between apps.
Expedia, the one place you go to go places.
Members only. Savings vary and see the site for details.
Thank you to our partner, Lionsgate Michael, the Michael Jackson biopic.
This Friday, something legendary is coming to theaters. Michael, the new biopic about Michael Jackson.
What makes this film so special, you might ask? Well, Jafar Jackson, Michael's own nephew, steps into the lead role.
This isn't a highlight reel. This is the untold story of how a kid with a dream became the king of pop. The struggles, the sacrifice, the genius behind the music that defined generations.
Michael opens Friday, April 24th. This is a big screen experience you don't want to miss.
Woo-hoo! Grab your tickets now and experience it in IMAX in premium formats.
All right, let's get to our convo with Charlize Theron. This convo is brought to you by Reese's. Our guest today is an actress producer from South Africa. She's got a Golden Globe, 2 Critics' Choice Awards, and an Academy Award. She was named one of Time Magazine's 100 most influential people. You know her from her roles in The Italian Job, Monster, Mad Max Fury Road, Atomic Blonde, The Old Guard, and Fast and Furious, as well as her new film coming out to Netflix April 24th, Apex. 92%ers, please give a warm welcome to Charlize Theron! Yeah, now that's the flex. That's the flex.
Right oh, that's good. I was hoping you would give me a big one like that. I hear you give other guests big ones. I was like, I better get a really big fucking one.
We're listing them all.
Never hold back.
We're listing them all. You were showing off those muscles. This movie is unbelievable. It's such a flex in itself. You were doing a lot of the stunts, I heard.
I do a lot of the action. Yeah, I do all of the climbing, and it is me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Some of the kayaking is not me. I was not a great kayaker.
Not a kayaker.
They shot with these 2 Olympic gold medalists in New Zealand and did all which the kayak stuff is great though, right? I've never seen people do stuff like that with a kayak. These 2 women were just unbelievable. But yeah, I do everything else. Everything else that's in the movie, I do.
That's so impressive.
That's awesome.
Or stupid.
A lot of times those go hand in hand.
I was going to ask you, do you have...
greatness. You need the stupid and the crazy to get to greatness.
There you go. You got to be just a little crazy out here. Do you do it for the thrill, or do you do it for the shot, or do you what's the madness behind wanting to do all the action stuff?
Because I think good action movies work when you're telling the story through the action. It's not like the movie stops and you have an action scene and then the movie picks up again.
Yeah.
I like action movies where the action is part of the story. You don't understand the story unless you actually see the action. And that kind of physical storytelling, I really love. I was a dancer for the first part of my life, and I was a storyteller that way. And when I started making movies, it was all very verbal and great. But then I really got a chance to do a big movie called Mad Max Fury Road, and
we're familiar.
I fell in love.
Fantastic as well. Yes.
I fell in love with using my body again. And so it kind of made a real effort to develop a couple of projects for myself to do that. So that's how I think of it. I think of it as, well, this part of the story we have to now tell, and it's physical. How the fuck am I going to get up this hill without him shooting at me and hitting me? How am I going to do that?
So fucking cool.
It is physical and it is badass. These are badass female roles in the fullest extent. And this one in particular, telling the story through the action, you feel like what the character is going through. It's pretty remarkable.
My heart's racing with you.
The last scene, I have a natural fear of heights.
Oh,
so
really?
Sometimes I get that, yes, especially on the side of cliffs for sure. Even just a camera looking out. I'm in my couch. I know that I shouldn't be sweating, but I just start sweating. It's a visceral movie.
You know that last climb, the final climb up when I get on the top and I'm exhausted and everything? That climb, that end, that last bit coming over, we shot that on an actual, a real face. And it was, I think, more than 60 feet down. And there was you couldn't put mats or anything down. It was a real hang. So they had to drop me on a very, very thick, secure safety rope.
Yeah.
But that's all they could put me on. They couldn't put me on wires or anything like that because we were just in the bush. And so I had to. This was by far the scariest thing that I did, and everybody thinks it's the cliff dive, but I'm like, no, that was fun, even though it was only 6 feet of water. But every time I did that cliff dive, I was like, I'm getting more sand into my wetsuit. I'm getting closer and closer to that bottom. But that last climb, I had to basically get myself down. So you see this drop, and I don't have a great fear of heights, but I'm also not incredibly brave, I'm like, this is probably not very smart. You have an
appropriate fear
exactly.
when you're hanging 60 feet over a cliff.
But you're just a little, you're crazy enough to do it. That's half the fun.
Yeah, exactly. I think we've come this far. I have to finish this now. So I'm dropping myself. I'm trying not to look down. I'm like climbing and kind of scraping my body down just far enough so I'm out of the shot of the camera. And then I have to on action climb that last bit up, which is pretty steep and it's an overhang. And
oh my gosh.
That was one of the physically the hard, and I was towards the end of the movie, I was so tired. And I just remember pulling myself up there the third time. And I just went, this is fucking insane. Like, this is absolutely insane. And in the movie, I kind of have a bit of a giggle, and that he kept it in, but that was literally me on the third take going like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, this is so crazy.
It fit very well. Yeah, absolutely.
Is a lot of this action and like that kind of that fearlessness that you have to find in yourself, was that a part of like wanting to be a part of this role? Or
yeah, I mean, I like this movie a lot because I thought that it wasn't contrived at all. It was very straightforward. You know, you have a girl, she goes into the wild, she meets a guy, he ends up being a serial killer, and the chase is on. And I like something about when I read the script, I love the simplicity of that engine that drove it. And then I liked the idea of within that it could be a two-hander where you can get into more of the psychological warfare, the psychological action. Like, I love movies like Die Hard, where it's simple. Like, you get it. It's like, there's a Christmas party and shit goes wrong, you know?
Yeah. I love it.
And I love those movies. And I felt the same about this. I was like, wow, I just love that, you got to stay alive. You got to try and get out of this. And hopefully you do. Good luck. Go.
It is a nail biter every step of the way. Your seat. It combines like so many movies in my head, like of great parts of them, like Cliffhanger or like Free Solo, Deliverance. Like I there's like, who isn't terrified of being in the middle of nowhere with a bunch of people playing like banjos and whatnot? But no banjos in this one.
No banjos in this one. But it's amazing how beautiful places can become this most scary places, right? Places where people go and hike and they have these beautiful like Sunday mornings can end up, being where somebody dies.
Right.
It's terrifying.
Yes.
I will say this though, Taron Egerton absolutely rocks it with you. He's awesome as well. The first time he did his animal noise, did that fuck you up? Did it like catch you off guard? It caught me off guard every single time he did it.
Yeah.
He, that was truly frightening. And he came up with that kind of like, I think a week before we started shooting, because he had this, he kept saying things like, I think of him as someone that has like Peter Pan syndrome. And it was such a great way to look at the character, this like little boy who's like trying to like be a man in nature, but he's just fucking sick.
You're doing it, man. You're doing it. You're really doing
exactly.
it.
Like, look at me. I can get water out of a tree. Like, okay, whatever. But I remember we did the first chase and he did one of those bird sounds and it scared the fuck out of me.
Is something really out here chasing me? What the fuck is that?
And there's a reaction shot actually when the first time he does it, when he starts the song and he says, you have this song to get away from me, and then he does the bird sound, and that reaction is, I was like, fuck me. Like,
I gotta get the fuck out of here.
I gotta get the fuck out.
Why are you that good at this?
He's so amazing in the movie. I think he brings like a whole new twist to this. I think serial killer movies I love them. I'm obsessed with serial killer movies. I think you also I think because I'm so obsessed with real serial killers, there's so much variety to pick from, right? It's not always the tropey thing where, you're telling the story and this is why, and you're trying to justify or say why he's like likes to cut women's heads off. And we didn't want to do that story. We really wanted to just tell a story that's in the moment. It's happening. And we're not getting into, too much of a history about why he's doing all these horrible things, which I like as well, because then he stays very scary. Mm-hmm. You don't understand him.
I agree. It's scarier when you don't know why he's doing that. Like, I think at one point, Sasha, like your character even tries to like say that I don't want to give away too much of the movie, but you try to like get that out of him or like play on that, and he shuts it down right away. Like, no, I'm just a psychopath. Like, there's nothing deeper here. It's not as deep as you're trying to make it out. Yeah.
He's like, but can I hug you? I love that moment too, because she's obviously all she has left is how she can psychologically maybe talk herself out of this situation. And I love that he doesn't go down that route. Yeah. And that I have to kind of come up with something else very quick on the fly. I'm so glad you guys love the movie. I really, I haven't, this is my favorite movie I've ever made.
What? You made some bangers. I was like, this is cool to hear.
I know. So in 30 years, I've made a lot of movies and I've loved all of them for different reasons. But there's something about this movie that the way we shot it, where we shot it, just the time in my life, what I needed to go and find something where I could just immerse myself into a world. And this movie was everything that I wanted. And then the end result was everything that I hoped for before we went to go do it. And so it's really nice to hear how much you guys are responding to it too, because I loved making this movie so much.
That's awesome. Fuck it.
Very cool. Yeah. I think it's going to be highly regarded. That comes out on Netflix coming up here. It's, you did a great job. You should be proud of it.
Thank you. That's so nice, you guys.
You were also a producer on Mindhunter, so you really are just all about the serial killers.
Yeah, are we watching Dateline every night, or where are we getting our fix for this knowledge?
I mean, what's wrong with that? I have fallen asleep to Dateline before. Yeah, Mindhunter was a story that I heard about when I did Monster, when I played Eileen Wuornos, who was considered a serial killer.
Yeah.
And I kept hearing about this guy, John Douglas. John Douglas, he was the first behavioral science guy, and he is really the one that came up with profiling, which was a really big thing that he brought to the FBI, and they really fought it for years because they were like, I don't want to hear about this monster's mom, like, don't tell me. But he had a way of kind of looking at the history of these people, and he could he profiled a lot of prolific serial killers actually, through just knowing more about them. And so I read one of his books. He has many books, and he's a very, very interesting guy. And he just always stayed with me as such a fascinating guy, because he's like always in like a nice suit. You know, he wasn't like, he was like the last guy that you would imagine would go to Rikers and want to sit down with serial killers and know more about them. So he was a great character. But yeah, we did 2 seasons with David Fincher, and it was that I was very proud of. I absolutely love what we did with it. And it's a serial killer story that really very rarely shows you the serial killer doing the act. It really was more about the academia behind, and how serial killers, real serial killers, were part of that academia being found, sitting down with them. That's how they built their knowledge for profiling, which I just thought was fascinating.
That is fascinating.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
You guys don't like serial killers? Well,
we grew up in Ohio.
I will sit down and
a lot
watch.
of them come from Ohio, so I like trying not
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It's too close to home.
That's right. So you guys see it in real life. Got it.
It's just that everyday thing. So we tried to stay out of it.
We narrowly escaped it. Narrowly
escaped trying to kill each other. Nice. Well, for the movie, everybody, Netflix, April 24th, Apex. You gotta check it out. Charlize, before we get you out of here, though, we got some dumb questions to ask you. We have a dumb little game that we made up, and your movie resume is absolutely incredible. But we want to know how well you know those movies based off of some of the comments and reviews. We think this is a fun little game. And
comments and reviews.
Yeah.
So we're gonna read a comment, and you are going to try and tell us which movie you think that comment is referencing.
That is really hard.
Hopefully we didn't make it that hard for you. Let's see.
First one is from Miriam. It is, I feel like I just got drop kicked in the cervix for 120 minutes straight. Which of your movies would elicit that comment from Miriam?
It's either
5 stars, by the way. 5 stars.
Atomic Blonde or Tully.
You got an Atomic Blonde. She knows it. Yeah.
All right. The next one is from Patrick Williams, who also gave the movie 5 stars. A few movies in history have ever whipped quite this hard.
Oh my God.
It could be a number of them.
Whipped so hard? That doesn't. There was no whips.
Read.
Wait a second.
I can't read.
Which movie do you think
Did
you
I
were
say that
whipped
right?
in? No, you're right. That's the you read it correctly,
Damn
Travis.
it, that was a tough
Whipped
word.
hard. Is it Mad Max?
Yeah,
it is Mad Max indeed.
2 for 2.
There it is.
2 for 2.
I think whipped was the key word in that one.
There was a lot of leather in that movie, so that's why
Well, I think they were like whipped around. All right, here we go. From Liam F. 3.5 star review. They were in Italy for 24 minutes.
Oh, the Italian Job.
Yes,
There you
the
go.
Italian
That
Job.
one was an easy one. That's a gimme. All right, one more.
From Adam Bolt, all sex scenes from now on should have Al Pacino in the background cheering for participants.
Oh my God, that's devil's advocate.
That's an all-time comment right there. Yes.
Oh my God, it sounds so wrong. But now don't you want to kind of see it? Yeah, this is the only way I have sex these days. Al Pacino's
Al, could you come in here, please?
and he's lovely. He submits, he comes, he does it.
He's a good man.
Great feedback.
I heard he's a good man.
Alrighty. We got to ask, you got to do the opening ceremony at the Winter Olympics this year. How was that experience?
Oh my God, it was amazing. I was asked and I was kind of like, I don't know, I feel like I'm going to stick out like a sore thumb. And it's such a special moment for so many athletes who work so hard. But I really kind of connected to the idea of just kind of spreading a little bit of hope, and I think I felt like it was a good stage to maybe do a little bit of that. I didn't want to go and like feed anybody medicine. Hopefully I didn't, but I'm fortunate enough to come from a beautiful country with this great man who plays a big part in the freedom of South Africa, Nelson Mandela. And you just can't go wrong with a Nelson Mandela quote.
Nice.
So it was very, very, very easy on my part. I just threw a dart and like anyone that it was going to pick was going to be a good quote.
Nice.
But it is interesting that quote was so many years ago and how relevant it is today.
Absolutely.
But it was a great experience. It was just amazing to be that close to something like that. I just have such respect for athletes. I just think that the dedication and the hard work and the discipline that goes into sports is...
So imagine this. One of the biggest NFL stars and one of the biggest pop icons in the world casually revealing their dream mansion on a podcast. Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift just gave fans a glimpse into their newly renovated Kansas City home. And honestly, it's not what most people expected. Instead of a flashy, high-production house tour, the reveal came through a simple, relaxed conversation, which somehow made it feel even more real and personal. And that's exactly why people can't stop talking about it. From what they shared, the mansion isn't about over-the-top luxury or showing off wealth. It's modern and stylish, but at the same time, it feels warm, comfortable, and actually livable. The kind of place where you can imagine real moments happening, not just something designed to look perfect on camera. Their living space, for example, is all about comfort. Big cozy couches, soft neutral tones, and an overall vibe that feels inviting rather than intimidating. You can easily picture them just hanging out there, whether it's watching a game, listening to music, or just enjoying some downtime. Of course, with Taylor Swift involved, creativity plays a huge role in the home as well. They hinted at having a private music space that's more about inspiration than luxury. It's not flashy or overly designed. It's simple, calm, and built for creating. On the other side, Travis Kelce has his own space focused on training and recovery, but even that follows the same theme: clean, functional, and not overdone. It's clear that every part of the house was designed with purpose, not just to impress people. What really stands out is their decision to prioritize comfort, privacy, and personality over extreme luxury. In a world where celebrity homes are usually bigger, louder, and more extravagant, this approach feels refreshing. Fans online are already saying that the house reflects their relationship, balanced, grounded, and genuine despite their massive fame. It's stylish, but it doesn't try too hard, and that's exactly what makes it stand out. In a way, this whole reveal is shifting how people think about luxury. When two global icons choose a cozy, personal vibe instead of something over the top, it sends a different message about what really matters. And maybe that's why this simple podcast moment turned into such a viral topic, because it feels real in a way most celebrity reveals don't. So now the question is this your kind of dream home? Or were you expecting something way more extravagant?